Hi everyone, this is Marc for Following the Nerd, and it is my absolute great pleasure to be in this room today with none other than Mr. Billy Dee Williams, Lando Calrissian himself. Billy Dee, thank you for taking the time to speak to us.
Well, thank you for having me.
No, I believe us, it's absolutely our pleasure. Okay. How are you finding Dublin?
Oh, I love it here. Yeah. The people are wonderful here. Genuinely nice people.
Okay.
Very nice people.
Okay. Well, obviously, you know, the whole event is a big celebration of Star Wars. So it would be very remiss of us not to speak about the fact that you were the ultimate space pirate, Mr. Lando Calrissian. How was it to be part of the Star Wars, to be such a great character in Star Wars?
Oh, well, it was an experience that I really looked forward to, particularly because I wanted to work with George Lucas. Because prior to the experience I had with Star Wars, I had seen a couple of films that he had done, and he was certainly very much a part of a whole new movement of filmmakers at the time. So I felt like pretty privileged to work with people like that, of that caliber.
Just a brief thought about working with George Lucas. Was he a very demanding director? He obviously knows what he wants to get and how he makes it happen, but was he good fun? Was he quite tough to work with? Your thoughts?
No, he wasn't tough to work with. He was very easy, actually. He knew exactly what he wanted. I mean, there was no question about that. But it was all a very, very, very pleasant experience. And he was quite accommodating, so it was nice.
We're big fans of your work on Robot Chicken, and there's a great sketch that you do where you have a go at like a child in a supermarket who says, you know, you betrayed Han Solo, and you're like, hey, hold on, Lando. What is your feeling? I mean, personally, I think Lando was in a corner. He had no choice. How do you feel about it?
Well, we sort of put that whole thing together impromptu.
Yeah.
You know, when we did it that day, we just played around with it and came up with all of that. Much of it was scripted, but a lot of it was pretty much improvised. So we had a lot of fun with that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great
funny stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest. I love watching that scene because it's so true. Now,
because it's based on situations that I've actually been in.
Yeah.
You know, where people are always accusing me of betraying Han Solo.
Yeah. Would you get that a lot then? You would get a lot of people.
Oh, well, and listen, I used to pick my daughter up from elementary school. The kids would run up to me, little kids, run up to me in the schoolyard, accusing me of, you betrayed Han Solo. And I'm right in the middle of the schoolyard trying to explain to these kids, you know, what the whole situation was about.
What's it like working on fan-based parodies like Robot Chicken?
I work Seth Green. He's like he's the producer and one of the writers of it. He's like my son, so I've been doing a lot of those, and I really get a kick out of doing those. I even the stuff with Seth MacFarlane is a lot of fun for me. Anytime anybody asks me to do some humor, I always look forward to it. You know, so it's been a joy, and I continue to do it. In fact, with Seth, I don't know if you've ever seen the Titus Maximum. Well, I did a character called General Bitchface, so that was a lot of fun.
What did you think of Carrie Fisher?
Oh, she was very lovely, very, in those years, quite a beautiful little girl, and very extremely bright, and very witty. But she was a lot of fun. We became pretty good friends.
What did it feel like when you were being choked by Chewbacca?
It was fun. It was one of the fun moments I had making the movie. But I always felt sorry for Peter Mayhew in that costume, because It was pretty hot underneath that costume, and when he took it off, I mean, it was like he was in a shower, and he was drenched with so much perspiration. But it was a fun moment.
How did it feel working with Harrison Ford?
We worked very nicely together. He's a very wonderful man. You know, one of the things I really like about Harrison, you know, when I saw him with, and this is how I gauge what a person is about, I mean, especially a man. I saw him with his two sons when they were young, and I saw the kind of relationship that he had with his sons, and it was really very beautiful to watch. So I have a tremendous regard and respect for Harrison.
A lot of our fans, we would cover a lot of movies and comic books, and of course one of my favourite roles of yours was as Harvey Dent in Tim Burton's Batman in '89. What was it like to get that role, and were you disappointed whenever Tommy Lee Jones came on then later on?
Yeah, well, you know, I was hired to play Harvey Dent for the company that had the movie at the time, hoping that I would end up playing Two-Face, but there was a change of hands, so they went totally in a totally different direction. But I think it would have been more interesting for me to have played it, because it originally was not written for somebody of my little brown-skinned boy like me.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really an interesting idea, but there was no follow-up on it.
Another film that I was a big fan of was Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone. It's such a good movie. What was it like working with Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, we had a good time working together. It was a tough shoot. We shot the whole thing in New York City in the middle of winter, and he was in a heck of a lot better shape than me, and so that was very interesting. But we had a good time.
What was your favorite scene that you did in Star Wars?
Well, you know, I when I put that cape on, that was a big deal for me. That kind of set the character for me, because all I kept thinking about was being this sort of kind of a swashbuckling kind of individual, you know, in the tradition of the Errol Flynns and those early movies back in the 40s.
I mean, I sort of built my character around that cape in Empire Strikes Back. That was I should have kept that cape.
Hi, how's it going? I'm just wondering, what was your favourite thing about working on Star Wars, say the day-to-day work on the sets and stuff like that?
Well, you know, I used to like to go back and hang out with the technical people. I found that really fascinating. You know, it's one thing to be on set and work with actors and be in front of a camera and stuff like that, but I really enjoyed going and watching what the young people who were not performers, what they were doing to contribute to the magic of those movies. So I used to sit and watch all the computer nerds, which was a lot of fun for me.
Of course, I mean, you've done a lot of roles. Our website is sort of more genre-based with things like Star Wars and Batman, but I mean, of course, you've done so many roles and beyond sort of the realm of sci-fi and fantasy as well.
Yeah, you know, I've been in this business for 50 years, and I've been in a lot of movies, some good ones and a whole lot of bad ones. But it's been a wonderful journey.
How did it feel to star in one of the greatest movies of all time?
Oh, it's a great experience. I think I mean, if you're an actor, I mean, it's very difficult to be an actor. It's a very difficult profession. I mean, it's always hit and miss. And there are an awful lot of actors around who really don't succeed. But if you can manage to be in a situation that is successful, that can only add to the whole experience. So I've done a lot of movies in my time, and I've done quite a few movies that are pretty successful. A lot of them not too successful, but certainly this is I guess one would have to characterize this experience as a phenomenon. I mean, it's been going on for 30 years. Even my grandson, who's only 4 years old, he's into Star Wars. And this whole experience started 32 years ago.
What did you think of the prequel movies?
Say that again?
What did you think about the first three, the prequel movies, episodes 1, 2, and 3?
You mean the last three that were done?
Yes.
I thought they were good movies. I was curious about them. I think they relied more on CGI and all the technical stuff. It's, for me, I think it didn't get much into character development. Well, in the way that the first three had, but they were very entertaining movies, certainly. But I think more for little kids, it seems to me. Like the one character I hated was that one with the looks like a giraffe. What's his?
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar, yeah, that was weird. He was too weird for me. They got that many people agreeing with it.
Well, Billy Dee, I mean, on behalf of everyone at Following the Nerd, all our viewers and our listeners, I just want to say thank you, and it is an absolute honour to meet you, sir, because for so long I've been a fan of Lando and of yourself, and it really is an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Well, this has been a great pleasure for me. Thank you very much.
You're a gentleman, sir. Thank you. Thanks, Bill.
Hi, I'm Billy Dee Williams, and I'm following the nerve.